What's the deal? You already know what it is. Back in this with another video. Make sure we all good. Pump out to my young boys. Maybe girls, but no, today I want to get on here real quick. Give y'all a little bit of motivation before I eat this dinner. And it's time, chosen ones, it's time for y'all to stop allowing y'all lives to be like a revolving door. It's time for you to stop letting people come in and out of your life as they please. It's time for you to stop letting people open up old wounds and pick at those scabs that they've caused. It's time that y'all reclaim your peace. And essentially, just take back your peace. It's that time for all of us to take back our peace and start walking the narrow path and removing the people that aren't supposed to be there so we can allow new people to come into our lives. People who actually see our value, see our growth, see our development, and starting to build with people who actually are down with the cause. You know, in this walk, you're going to come across a lot of people who will essentially treat you as if you aren't who you are. And that's simply put, they gonna essentially undermine your efforts. They are going to always have something negative to say, something negative to bring into your life. It's time you remove all those people. It's time for you to actually take people for who they are. When somebody sit up there and hurt y'all, or somebody, transgress against you, and they do it and they don't even seek repentance. A lot of people that y'all deal with have a long rap sheet of ways that they've transgressed against y'all, ways they've hurt y'all, and they haven't even repented for those things. They've just essentially, swept it under the rug, or they believe that they have some kind of entitled position in your lives, and those people are narcissistic. They believe that they have the right to hurt you. Maybe you've done something to them in the past when you were a different version of yourself. And you got to be aware of people who are holding you to standards that you've surpassed. When you come into the truth and when you take the road less traveled, you become new. But you have a lot of people who will sit up there and hold you to the person that you used to be. And they will believe that, but they will hold you into that. They will put you in the box of who you once were, and they will keep you there. And those people are detrimental to your walk, because there's no way you can actually move forward dealing with those people if they have you in that box. They're designed to essentially dim the voice of the Most High, so to say. And I want to go to a scripture here because this one is very powerful. And I just want to go into this one. This is 1 John chapter 2, verse 19. And it says, "They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out, that they might be made manifest. They were not all of us." So, that was kind of the wrong button, but so basically, those people that were once walking with y'all, or those people who you were once in agreement with, they essentially if they were supposed to be there, then they will remain there. But since those people decided to veer off, they decided to essentially neglect your light, neglect your essence, and venture off to, do what they own, do what thou wilt, essentially. You got to understand that if they are going, then that is the way it's supposed to be. They weren't meant to walk with you because they aren't of the same cloth that you're of. Again, if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. So those people who were in your life that dip off, leave you, or essentially, just leave you to dead, leave you for dead. You can't let those people come back. You cannot let those people continue to come in and out of your life like a revolving door. Those people, like I said, will have a sense of entitlement. They will feel like that they have the right. And this could be your parents. This could be, close friends, family, a significant other. Some people they'll literally feel like they have the right to harm you. A lot of y'all deal with narcissistic abuse in a lot of different forms. Again, this can come from anybody. But no, these people don't have the right to sit up there and do you wrong and then leave and then just come back and everything can just be cool. You can't continue to let these people come back, because in actuality, a lot of y'all are blocking many of your blessings just off of that alone. I've come to find in this walk that when I sit up there and remove people who don't belong, then that's typically when the blessings start to come in, because the Most High knows that y'all have these attachments. The Most High knows that y'all have a lot of love for these people. Y'all put energy into these people. Y'all have, went above and beyond for a lot of these people. And they don't even really appreciate the thing it is that you're doing. They don't even appreciate the work that you're putting into those people. Well, and putting into them. They don't see the value in that. Because again, I mentioned this in my previous video, the dark can't comprehend the light. So they don't even understand, the amount of grace, and they don't even understand that the blessing that it is that you are, in that person's life. A lot of y'all are being taken for granted. And you have to remove these people. If you find yourself in a situation where it feels like you're constantly pouring into a person and you're not receiving anything back, any kind of, you feel like you're unequally yoked with that person, it's time to remove that person, because there is people out there who the Most High will put in your life who can pour back into you, who can reciprocate the energy that it is that you bringing forth. And you don't have to sit up there and settle for less and just take what it is that you got. And a lot of narcissists out there will make you believe that they are the best that you can get, and they are like, the epitome of what it is that you can attain in this world. But don't get caught up into that. There are people who will sit up there and treat you the way that you deserve to be treated. You just have to have the spiritual fortitude and, that strong relationship with the Most High to understand that He's going to bring those people forth. And when you remove those people again, he sees that. He sees that he knows that you had this attachment to that person, but you are someone who is not putting anybody above him. The Bible says he who loves father, mother, sister, brother, whatever more than me is not worthy of me. So when you show that devotion, when you show, okay, I will put, my parents away if it's necessary. I will put this significant other away if it calls for it. When you show the Most High that you have that level of fortitude and that level of faith in Him, then blessings will start to come your way. So it says, once people walk out of your life, leave them where they are and move on to something better. That's a fact. Don't backslide. Don't sit up there and spin the block and do all of that when, especially if the person is not repentant, especially if they're not coming to you humbly and really acknowledging the things that they've done to you, or really acknowledging, the blessing that you were in their lives. And, that's discernment. And, you got to have the discernment to obviously tell that, but, don't let nobody come give you sorry, I'm sorry or whatever, stuff like that. Don't let them sit up there and just come back on some, I'm sorry. When somebody's really repenting for how they treated you. And again, this goes into knowing your value. You have to sit up there and lock into your word. You got to start strengthening your own personal relationship with the Most High. Because the level of, when you start understanding who you are, then you'll understand how people should be treating you. And if you seeing that it's not lining up, then that's when you got to start making them changes. You got to start getting people up out of there. It's time for y'all to take y'all peace back, because it's very peaceful. You'll find that your life becomes way more peaceful when you have the right people in your circle. Peace and blessings. What's going on, Fair? When you find that the right people is in your circle and you got the right group of people around you, you'll find that you'll have way more peace in your life. But it starts with you removing the narcissistic people who continue to come in and out of your life because they feel entitled to your essence. They feel entitled to your very being. A lot of these people believe that they made a lot of y'all. You deal with that with your parents. Well, your parents actually did physically make you, but you'll be surprised. There's people out here, when it comes to y'all walks and y'all spiritual journeys, they'll sit up there and try to take credit for what the Most High did. They'll be like, you wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for me. Therefore, if anybody got the right to hurt you, it should be me. And again, these people are toxic and they have to be removed because they are hindering progress. They're hindering progress, y'all. And again, they're not gonna be able to understand it. And when y'all sit up there and remove these people, not only do you not need to look back, but you also don't really owe these people an explanation. Because when you're dealing with narcissistic people, you got to think about the type of person that was just described. This person really believes, these people believe that they made y'all. These people believe that y'all wouldn't even be where y'all are if it wasn't for them. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight when it's time to actually get them up out of there. They're not going to go down they're not going to go down not swinging. They're not just going to gracefully bow out and be like, oh, I release you, I release my demonic clutches on you. No, it don't work like that. Because a lot of y'all have become a source of light and a source of energy for these narcissistic demons that's out here doing these things. Y'all have become, a lot of y'all are actually in this, all praise to the Most High, but the Most High will sit up there and use y'all as some of these people last chance. He like, okay, I'm gonna put this person in this person's life. If they don't get it right when this person's around, if they don't see me or hear my voice through this person, then I'm gonna have to do what I do. It's gonna be judgment time after that. And you gotta count it all joy. Don't sit up there and feel bad when you have to remove people. You gotta count it all joy when people show their hand and they show that they're not walking on the right side. And in these times, a lot of people is going to say, surely Christ have delayed his coming. It's going to be people who y'all walk with, who y'all once walked with, who seemed as if they were on the side of good. But once you sit up there and retract your energy from these people, you're going to start seeing them fall off. You're going to start seeing them essentially selling out. You're going to start seeing them going back to their old ways, going back to their own vomit. And you'll be a fool to sit up there once they go back to their old vomit, you go back to your old vomit, which is that person. Y'all stacking vomit on vomit. Y'all and hold on, we got Cleveland for that. That's nasty. That's nasty. They going back to their vomit and you going back to your vomit, so you consuming them after they didn't consume vomit. It just doesn't work. You see why you got to sit up there and get rid of them permanently? Because they've already chosen a side. If they were going to walk with you, they would have continued to walk with you. Once these people veer off and exit out of your life, you cannot let them back in. You got to just leave. You just got to leave them where they at. They've already chosen. Yep, it's a lot of sellouts. Y'all gonna see a lot of people that y'all knew who once showed a form of godliness, but deep down they really denied the power thereof. Bible say many are called, few are chosen. So the only way you're gonna get to the people who are actually chosen, the remnant, the very select few, you gotta remove the people out your life who's not meant to be there, because they are hindering you from actually meeting the people that are supposed to be there. Okay, we got some scriptures. We got Proverbs 26:11. As a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly. That's a fact. We got the scripture right there. We don't want to be dogs returning back to our old vomit. And you better trust and believe, if you are a light bearer, you're somebody who bears the light, once you sit up there and retract your energy from a lot of these people, damn near everybody, if you are dealing with somebody and you as a chosen one have to pull your energy out, you better trust and believe that person is going to go back to their old vomit. They're going to go back to sin. They're going to go back to wickedness. Because without your light, there's nothing there. It's darkness. Without your light, all that person is left with is darkness. So you better believe they're going to engage in dark activities. They're going to start entertaining demons again. And then they're going to sit up there and spin the block on you to get another refill of light, to get a dose of light, and y'all can't give it to them. You can't let them sit up there and keep coming in and out. You can't sit up there and let them keep feeding off of you, especially after separations. The wheat and the tares look the same. That's a fact. I heard Bree talking about that yesterday. The wheat and the tares look the same. I don't really know the full concept of like wheat and tares, but when you separate the wheat and the tares, it look the same. There's gonna be a lot of people in these times who are going to appear as if they are chosen, appear as if they are of the Most High. You're gonna hear a lot of people talking, when like the whole thing. This is the thing when it comes to Christianity and everything like that. In the religious sense, that's losing its stock. It's still one of the most popular religions, but it's losing its stock. One thing that's becoming very popular, well, it's been popular for a while now, is this new age spirituality. You can't let people soothsay you with vain philosophies. You can't let people just tickle your ears with spirituality and you believe that person is of the light just because they talking spiritual. If the person that you're speaking to, if the person that you're dealing with is not pulling from that word, that they not talking about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, it's irrelevant. That person is still just as capable of being hacked as anybody else. They not serving the same God you serving. That's why y'all discernment got to be on point. Even when you sit up there watching these content creators and everything else, if they not pulling from the word, if they not going into the scriptures, then they not talking about nothing. It's not even relevant what they saying. So, yeah, when you out here, pay attention to the stuff that people say. Fellas, have your discernment up. When you talking to a woman, if she get to talking about that mother goddess stuff, if she get to talking about that astrology, she get to talking about, the queens and all of that type of stuff, you already know what you're dealing with. You already know what you're dealing with. Leave it alone. Same with the ladies. If you talking to a guy, he get to talking about sun gaze and mirror gazing and all sorts of crazy stuff. You gotta know what you're dealing with. They not walking the same walk you walking, because that's still in the vein of do what thou wilt. You gotta ask yourself, who governs these people? Who's controlling you? What laws do you follow? What laws do you abide by? If it's not the laws of that book, then they free game. They free game to be hacked by demons. They free game. And that's kind of a tangent a little bit, but not for real, it ain't. But like I said, man, just make sure when y'all cut these people off, y'all got to do it permanently. Because I'm personally, I'm speaking from experience. I'm guilty of this. I sit up there and used to be a person who would cut people off and then let them come back in and then cut them off and they come back in. And, it's just a revolving door. That gives people a sense of entitlement. They feel like their position in your story is just written as if they can't be, like they can't transgress or they can't be judged, essentially. Like, these people feel like they can just have complete rulership over your life. And that's destroying y'all's peace. That's destroying y'all's peace. It's time to take y'all peace back. Y'all know who those people is you got to sit up there and remove. Y'all know who they is. Y'all know who the ones that keep coming in and out, who keep, going off to do whatever it is they do, and they come back unrepentant and expect, real estate inside of your life. These people think they set up shop inside your life and they always got a home to come back to. It's time for y'all to start tearing them homes down that these people think they done built in y'all's walk. But I just wanted to get on here real quick and get y'all that word, get y'all that motivation, because y'all know what it is. We trying to stay consistent on here. Make sure we get at least something up every single day. But I see y'all. Shout out to Iowa joining in. Shout out to Ferris. Shout out to Vine. Gotta respect the boundaries. You gotta set up healthy boundaries for yourself. Gotta set up healthy boundaries for yourself. And it gets easier with time. If you are somebody who's new into your walk, if you're somebody who's new into your walk and you're not used to having a lethal cutoff game, it's going to take time. And it's not going to be easy, but it gets easier. It gets easier. And the goal is to, minimize the amount of people you got to cut off. You just want to make sure that your discernment is so on point that everybody you inviting in is the right people from the jump. So, peace and blessings to everybody. Make sure y'all have a good rest of y'all day. With that being said, I love y'all. Take care. Stay safe. I'm on y'all boys. It's that reality.